One thing I've learned long ago is that most people underestimate their abilities and their capacity, and then they overestimate other people's abilities and capacity. It's almost like you'll put yourself in a position to think that greatness is somehow reserved for special people and that you don't belong in that category of special, like almost like you don't have what it takes. You begin to see yourself as maybe, hey, I'm going to be a spectator of life and watch the great play the game of life on the field. And so you kind of just find yourself on the bleachers of life, watching and spectating and not necessarily participating. And I'm here to tell you, man, that as someone that has gone from the 1.0 version to the 2.0 version of myself, I used to think the same thing. I really believed that great people, successful people, rich people, wealthy people, people that would impact and inspire the world, that there was something special about them that I didn't have. Like they were just born with a special trait, personality type, skill set. And as it turned out, and I've proven it in my life, these are all things that are attainable. It's no different than working out in a gym and building muscle, right? You could be an endomorph, an ectomorph, a mesomorph, doesn't matter. You can put on muscle. Someone who's a mesomorph, the body type that tends to want to put on muscle easily, guess what? They're probably going to have an easier time building muscle, but they still have to do the work. They still have to eat right. But that doesn't mean that the endomorph, like me, where I put on fat easily, or the ectomorph, like that really skinny dude that you know, who has a hard time putting on muscle, that doesn't mean they can't do it. They may have to work harder. They may have to work longer. They may have to put in more effort, but the outcome is guaranteed when the effort is applied. Listen, I stopped taking all of those and I started taking this, the Keuilian Wellness Shot. In fact, I created this because I was sick and tired of every morning taking 11 different supplements like turmeric, ginger, cayenne pepper, black pepper, vitamin B12, echinacea, vitamin C, etc., and zinc, right? Think about this. If you want to improve your immune system, if you want to fight off inflammation in your body so that you have better gut health, you have more energy, your joints don't hurt, then you're going to want to take all those supplements. And I was taking it twice a day, every day. First thing in the morning in a glass of water, and then again at 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I decided, why don't I just create the Keuilian Wellness Shot? And so when we created the Keuilian Wellness Shot, we cut no corners and we spared no expense. And so in this, you've got something that's going to not only help boost your immune system, but also fight off inflammation. Because if you're a high performer and if you want to get more done, if you want to stay more focused, if you want to make sure that you don't get sick as frequently, then you have to care about your immune system and you have to fight off inflammation, especially if you're an entrepreneur and you're high performing and you have a stressful work day from time to time, right? So guess what? Every time you watch the show, you see the shaker cup next to me and it has one of these, the Keuilian Wellness Shot in it. And I got to tell you, I meet a ton of people every week when I travel and I speak to thousands of people. I shake a lot of hands. I'm in contact with a lot of people and I don't get sick. And one of the reasons is because I take my Keuilian Wellness Shot twice a day, every day, religiously. In addition to eating right, working out consistently, and getting sleep, the Keuilian Wellness Shot is going to help you boost your immune system and fight off inflammation. And best of all, you don't have to take 11 different ingredients just to get what's in this one packet. And so here's what I want you to do. You're going to click on the link in the description box or go to Keuilian.com and you're going to use the code word Bedros. And when you use my name, Bedros, you'll get 50% off your first subscribe and save bundle. You'll get 50% off, which means you can try Keuilian Wellness Shots for 30 days. If you like it, stick with it and continue to get new orders every month automatically at a discount. If you, for whatever reason, you don't like the Keuilian Wellness Shot, which I've yet to meet anyone who doesn't, then let us know in your first 30 days. We'll give you a full refund. Part ways as friends. Fair enough? Go check it out. Use the code word Bedros. Get 50% off. Peace. So I'm here to tell you that oftentimes you will underestimate yourself and you will overestimate others. And every single one of you out there have the superpowers necessary for greatness. But until you're backed into a corner like an injured, hungry, thirsty dog, you don't really realize how much you have in you. That is something that no test can measure. Where is the test that would have measured the heart, and the desire to win, I'm here to tell you that you can reprogram yourself to greatness, and I want to show you how. I want to tell you how. If you guys are watching this goddamn show and you're wondering, can I just do one tiny little thing at a time? I'm here to tell you, no, it'll take too long. You need to create momentum. You need your feet held to the fire. You have to find a way to put yourself in a pressure cooker environment. If you can put yourself in an environment where you're forced to work harder, you're the lowest level in terms of skill sets and traits, so that you can aspire to higher levels, you will do better. So if you have a job and you're like the smartest guy in the room, have you considered maybe quitting and finding a better position where you're the dumbest guy in the room, where you have to work harder, you have to put yourself in a sales position, you have to eat what you kill. Like, that is what it takes. And in 10 short months, you could achieve a high level of greatness. And why is it that you have to aspire to greatness? Why is it that if you don't, what happens? Well, if you don't, what happens? You stay average. And you hear me say this all the time. The average man inspires no one. And make no mistake about it, if we are to make this country great, if we are to make this country whole, if we are to take this country to a whole new place of awesomeness and get rid of this stupid ideology, this wokeness that exists, you must set your sight on greatness. Like, it is your duty and it is your responsibility, because when you achieve greatness, you become a pebble that is released into a pond that creates a ripple. And your example of greatness will be infectious. You will inspire and infect others with greatness. If you sit there and you wonder, what can we do about this country? How can we save it? How can we help it? How can we change it? I'm telling you that you must aspire to the greatest version of yourself. That's what it takes. Because when you do, and you put yourself in a high pressure cooker environment, you begin to develop. You develop traits and skills that make you a better person, a more decisive person, a more emotionally disciplined person. You begin to understand how money moves, how marketing works, and then you begin to contribute at a high level, and then, of course, earn at a high level. And so that's what I'm here to tell you guys. You have everything that you need to achieve greatness. And you've got a duty and a responsibility to the world, to your kids, to your spouse, to your friends, to your workplace, to your employees, to demonstrate greatness, the highest version of yourself, the 2.0 version of yourself, the most self-actualized version of yourself. You must become the man that you love, that you respect, that you admire, so that you can be the pebble when dropped in that beautiful, pristine lake, creates a ripple effect of inspiration. That is your duty. That is my duty. And if we don't do that, guess what happens? We begin to feel anxiety. We begin to feel guilt and shame. We begin to feel depressed. And it is then that we begin to lean into vices. And so I'm here to tell you, man, 6 months have gone by since the new year has started. You've got the next 6 months ahead of you. You can either be a loser and say you will wait for the new year to come to reset your expectations and a resolution, or you could start today and reprogram yourself for greatness. How do you do that? You start keeping promises to yourself. Number one, whatever promise you make, I'm going to wake up at this time and not hit the snooze button. You wake up at that time and don't hit the snooze button. I'm going to go work out 5-6 days a week. You go work out 5 or 6 days a week, whatever that number is. I'm going to eat clean, then you eat clean. I'm going to maintain a positive mental attitude, then you maintain a positive mental attitude by cutting out all negative input. People, social media, television media. When you start keeping the promises to yourself, when you start doing great things that great people do, you become a great human. It is formulaic. But if you're hanging around with crop dusters wondering why you're not a fighter jet, I'm here to tell you that it's a byproduct of environment. It is a byproduct of accepting mediocrity. The greatest version of you demands that you are extreme. I can tell you this, that every great person I know has this extreme personality, this intense, passionate desire to cut out negativity, to constantly lean into the sides of their comfort zone, to keep the promises to themselves, even when you don't feel like doing things, by the way. There's going to be plenty of times where you don't feel like waking up, but you do it anyway. You don't feel like getting your workout in, but you do it anyway. You don't feel like drinking your 30 ounces of water, but you do it anyway. You don't feel like reading that book, but you do it anyway. You don't feel like making that sales call, but you do it anyway. You don't feel like eating clean, but you do it anyway, because that is what greatness demands of us. And if you are willing to lean into the sides of your comfort zone, if you are willing to become that pebble that creates the ripple and inspires others, that is how together we change the world, my friends.